Hey everyone, this is Joey Yap here, and welcome to another episode of Forge in Fire. Now, today we have a very special guest today. These the people call them the wisdom couple, the power couple, the Brits in Singapore, and I have known them for a couple of years already. Actually, I think probably almost a decade now. And these are great people who are doing a lot of great work when it comes to the field of children education, bringing wisdom, and more importantly, wisdom to entrepreneurs. I think it is very important for people today to do business with heart. Because in our field, we are in the field of metaphysics, and most of us regard ourselves as artists. And as artists, we want to be able to make an impact with our art. But there's also at some point, when we're so concentrated on the hard part, want to make an impact, but sometimes we forget about the entrepreneur, the business side of things. Now, this couple are very special because they're able to bring the business side as well as the artist side together. Okay, and so this is something that I hope you guys will also benefit from our little meeting today. And Sally, whom I know for many years now, is in holistic health, and Vikas is people call him the Steve Jobs of wisdom. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my guests for today, Vikas and Sally.
Hi,
Hi.
everyone.
Hello. Hi, Joey.
Hi.
Hi. How are you guys doing?
Amazing. We're enjoying this period at home.
Right. Good. So thank you so much for making time to be part of our Forge in Fire interview today. And you guys are really special because I know you guys for some time now, but for those of you, or for those here who just met you for the first time, what would you tell them? What if they were to ask you, what do you do?
So what we do is we train people with a mindset of wisdom to be successful and happy in life. Whether
Right.
it's business they're running, it's a family they're running, whether they want to grow their personal results or professional results, we coach them on how to do this with a foundation of wisdom. You see, because Joey, wisdom is the foundation on which we should build the skyscraper of our life.
Yes,
Right?
absolutely.
Thank you. The foundation is weak, then the more success we have, the greater the chances it's going to fall down and fall down hard. So the
Absolutely.
foundation needs to be strong, and that involves the way we think. So the mindset and the foundation of stability, inner stability, and inner sense of serenity, right? Because you go through this external world, and it's a world of chaos and confusion. And just like the stock market, it goes up and down.
And that's not good.
Yeah, I need to have a foundation that doesn't shake. And that is the wisdom. It's the mindset that we create with them to be successful in their business, in their family, in their life.
Correct. And Sally, you have obviously I know you from your holistic health work, and but people here are new, right? So they're probably the first time meeting you.
Okay. So I like to say that we answer questions that Google cannot answer.
All right, that's a good way.
People come to us and they say, what should I be doing with my life? Or, I'm unhappy in a relationship, or I've got a child that's behaving in a certain way. What should I do with my child? So I really like to say to people that, we answer all the questions that you can't get when you type into Google. So,
Right.
questions. And we really like the best in every person that we can meet.
And you guys are described as the wisdom couple and the power couple. So how do you guys meet?
Oh,
You go ahead.
Joey, this is an amazing story. It's a divine intervention. So
Right.
a lot of me, I was from the corporate world, and I actually left the corporate world after I'd opened a load of stores in Asia. So I left the UK, went to Asia, and then I opened an orphanage. But I'm a medical pharmacist, and when I was working with these orphans, I realized they could heal themselves. And
Right.
the UK, when you fall sick, you take over, you grab a medicine. So this took me on this whole journey to understand the mind, the body, health, and healing. And I was learning every single thing I could learn. And
Right.
one day, I had a group of people, I'd moved to Singapore. I had a group of people in my house, and I was teaching about health and healing. And one of the guys brought a flyer, and he said to me, Sally, you're a course junkie. Why don't you attend this course?
Okay.
And I took the flyer, and it didn't really grab me. So I just put it on my coffee table, and I ignored it, right? And I just carried on. And I carried on teaching the course. And then about 4 weeks later, I was just tidying up my coffee table, and this flyer fluttered to the floor. So I picked it up, and it was that night. So I thought, well, I'm not doing anything. I'm going to go and I'm going to learn from this person who's visiting Singapore. So I turned at night, and it was all quite mysterious, and it was a dark room. And then all of a sudden, a very tall, dark Indian man walked in, and that was Vikas. And had me at word go, right? It was all about, who are you? What's your life all about? What is your potential? What is your purpose? So I thought to myself, I need to learn more from this guy. So I spoke to him. I said, where do you teach? And he said, I teach in India. So about 4 or 5 months later, I got in touch with him and I said, I want to learn in India. So he said, fine, come over to India. So I started to learn in India. And I was in his office one day and I was telling him very passionately, I want to open a holistic center in Singapore. This is my drive. This is my desire. I know this is what I want to do with my life. And he said, yeah, very good, very good. And at that very moment, Joey, his telephone rang. And this was for mobiles. This was with landline. So he picked up his phone and I could hear him saying, don't worry. There's a woman in my office. She will do it. And he put the phone. And I looked at him and I'm like, what's he just volunteered me for? And he said, divine intervention. That was my Singapore promoter. She's leaving Singapore. She can no longer promote me. Here you are wanting to open a holistic center. Let's combine our strengths and open a soul center.
And that was it, huh?
And that was it. And I left India with a tiny piece of paper like this big with 3 words: corporate, adults, children, bring best. And that is what we built our empire on.
Wow.
No business planning, none of this. It was just a tiny piece of paper.
Guided by divine intelligence, huh?
Absolutely.
And we still have that piece of paper, Joey. We still keep it in memory of where we started from, really.
Wow. And that was how many years ago?
That was in 2004.
Wow.
So a lot. Yeah. Back to Singapore with a tiny piece of paper, and from that piece of paper, we built the Soul Center empire. And now we work with children and adults and companies.
Right. You attended my class in 2006, right? That was 2006. That's after you opened.
Yeah, 2009, I think we first met, Joey.
9. All right. Okay. Wow. Such a long time ago. Huh?
Yeah.
That's great. And okay, so of course now health is a big thing right now around the world. Okay, and of course, and in the point of metaphysics, not all scientists cannot pinpoint the actual vaccine for COVID-19 as of yet. But from the holistic health point of view, right, for both of you, what do you see? How do we actually, defend ourselves energetically or from a holistic point of view against such threat?
Yeah. Well, I think I'll start and then Vikas can expand. But we believe that all healing begins with a happy mind.
Right.
So if you are positive, if you are peaceful, then you can heal yourself. And I really believe this. I've worked with thousands of clients, and people even with cancer have moved on and healed themselves.
Absolutely.
Now, I take credit for the healing. I'm not a healer. They heal themselves. But it all starts with a happy mind. So if you're peaceful inside, if you're positive inside, then you can actually heal yourself. So maybe because you want to talk about the mind.
So Joey, when we talk about healing, we say that there are 3 aspects to good health. All right. So first aspect is environmental. So what's around you? I mean, if you're in a bad environment, chances are you're going to get a disease or you're going to pick up an infliction.
Right.
So we have to manage the environment that we are in, including in the COVID-19 situation, right? The second aspect is a physical aspect. So you need your body physically to be strong enough to defend against what comes in, because we control what's coming in 100%, but we can't have control over our immune system. So the immune system is what we want to strengthen, because that is the first layer of defense. It's almost like the moat around the castle, when the enemy comes in, the moat is the first layer of defense. So we want to strengthen the immune system as much as we can: good food, good drink, exercise, movement. And then the third aspect, so we have the environment, we have the physical, and the third aspect is the mental aspect. And that's where you need to have a positive mindset. You need to be strong in your mind before you're strong in your body. because the
true.
mind and the body are linked, right? So if I'm
Yeah.
thinking negative thoughts, I'm worrying too much, or I'm stressing too much, or I'm feeling panicky or fearful, then the chances are it's going to affect my immune system, and therefore even the physical aspect becomes weaker, and then the environment takes over. So there are three aspects, there's the environment, there's the physical, and there's the mental to health. But
Right.
can
And
I
it,
just
yes.
add one line here? With the COVID-19 situation, I mean, I see people on two extremes. Either they are extremely fearful and they don't know enough about it, or they are just taking it like very casually, like it's nothing,
I
right?
was going to say there's a group of people. There are basically four groups of people out there. There are those who are extremely panicky. They're so
Yeah.
afraid and they want the business to be shut like permanently until all these things are gone. And then there's the other group, which is they don't really know what's happening and they don't really care. So they're not afraid. And then there are those who are afraid at first and then not so afraid now that they know more about it. And then there are those who are not afraid and still not afraid right now. So there are just four groups of people out there. And I think, isn't it true? Right now, this is people are going through this. We see these groups out there. One bunch is trying to get the governments to start business again, and the other bunch are like, no. We just got to stay away from all these sick people out there. So I think this world calls for wisdom right now. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Its ability to comprehend all this stuff. So how do people get wisdom? Tell me, Vikas, what is the simplest way you can offer for general people right now? Because I think people have different definitions of wisdom.
Yep.
Right? In simple ways, how do people get it? How do people get it?
This is a wonderful question, Joey, and I'm so happy you asked me this, because the first step is to have a desire to grow your life. All right. A desire to be happy, a desire to be more successful, a desire to enjoy life more. So without that desire, nothing moves. Desire, it's what triggers the decisions we make. Right. So if we have a desire to better our life, then I make a decision, I want to move forward. And then comes the second step. I have to learn new things. So if I'm just sitting at home doing the same thing that I've been doing all my life, then life doesn't change. So I have to step out of my comfort zone and I need to do something new. And, here I want to share with people who are listening now a 3-step formula that we actually use in our life, and especially now going through this crisis and this challenge of the COVID-19. So a 3-step formula to stay calm in the storm and come out on top. And it's what we use to also gain wisdom. So the first step in this is to understand that the obstacle is actually an opportunity. So, most people are thinking like, I'm staying home, my business is going to shut down, I can't meet people, but we have to change that mindset. So the obstacle is actually an opportunity. And when you do that, when you can accept that, then the mind opens up and you can go to step 2. Step 2, we believe and we teach, is to understand that our potential is bigger than our problems.
Yes.
Okay. Our potential, what we are capable of, is much, much bigger than whatever challenge we have in the moment. Our potential is bigger than our problems. That's all about self-belief and mindset and confidence. And then the third step is a very practical step. It's about getting skills that pay the bills, right? So it's about something new, right? It's about going out and finding a coach or a teacher like yourself or like us. We coach people, right? So it's about going out and finding someone who's qualified, who's certified in a way, who has that credibility and who has what you want. So I'm sure people who come to learn from you, they want to understand more of the Chinese metaphysics. They want to have that level of success and that joy and that achievement that you've been able to achieve for yourself. And that's what they want to model. So that's how we get wisdom also. It's about learning that I need to do something new, stepping out of your comfort zone, and then finding someone to coach you and mentor you or guide you to be able to grow your life. Because often we can't see where we are going wrong.
And the funny thing is, right now, there's so much time, right? People have nothing to do at home, and all they need to do is just open up and do those 3 things that you've just mentioned. And it's actually not that difficult. Everyone wants a good life, but most people don't do anything about it, right? They want it, but the desire is not strong enough to actually make them take the first step. So I think, that you're absolutely right. In the first step, a desire, right? I would add a little bit on to say they need a compulsion. They need to be compelled to move that step, So, I gotta, sometimes you have to push people a little bit, right? Because otherwise they want something and then they do nothing about it, and then they complain, right? They complain, oh, this is happening to me. So, and of course, learning from people, that there are only two ways to do it. Absolutely, Vikas is right in this. Is either you read it and understand it, or you got someone to teach you, right? There's no other way. You're not going to be able to sit there and then just do a zillion chants, and then out of the zillion chants, and all of a sudden you wake up, oh, I know about this stuff. It's not going to happen that way. So it's practical, and of course, a skills that pays the bills. I absolutely love that line, because that's what I like about Sally and yourself, the practical side of things, because we are all artists in some ways, and most artists, we forget about the point number 3.
Yeah.
Don't you think so? Because we want so much to make an impact that we forget that making an impact requires some funds, right? Without the funding, our impact can't reach to the people that they're supposed to reach, and a lot of people don't get the help. Wouldn't you agree, Sally? This is right. And this is what we see a lot in our field, right? In metaphysics, a lot of great metaphysics practitioners, but they sort of they're unable to pass their message out to the world simply because there's lack of step 3, right? There's no skills that can actually pay the bills.
Yeah. But I have to think, you have to realize what is your value. You have to give value. And when you give value to people, then there's always an energy exchange. So, people have great skills, but they have to be able to take that next step and be able to ask for some sort of payment, because otherwise skills are going to be so limited. You're only going to share them with your close family and your friends.
I think that's part of wisdom as well, isn't it? You have to have the wisdom to understand this basic life principle that, you got to be able to ask for payment and be able to use this to, sustain your, that crusade to pass this message out, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
But I must say, Joey, we're both from the corporate world. So return on investment is very big to us and very important to us. But also at the same time, we do things to support people. So like at the minute, we've launched a whole series of videos called Calm in the Storm. And Vikas has videoed 25 videos, and they're going out for free. And people are logging onto them and they're saying it's changing their lives. Now, we'll do that for a time period whilst there's a lot of disruption. But then after that, we have to get back into, making the business grow again.
Here's something I want to ask you guys. I think you can share with everyone. How did you find, in your ways, your energy to do this while everyone is contracting and you guys are still expanding? I want to know your secret. Share it, everyone.
Okay, you go first.
Yeah. Joey, I am so passionate about what I do. Anybody that I meet, anybody that I talk to, I am so passionate. And people actually say to me, why are you so positive? Right? As if it's a negative, right? And I think we're so used to being unhappy. Let's try and get used to being happy, because if you're happy and if you're driving forward, you get in the flow of life and amazing things start to happen. And throughout my life, I've had amazing opportunities to meet people at the right time in the right place that have moved me forward. And I'm sure if I'm negative and sitting on my couch watching Netflix, this wouldn't happen. But you've got to keep yourself positive, and you've got to keep yourself motivated, and you've got to know this is what I want to do. Even if I don't get paid, I'll still do this work.
Exactly. I like that. And Vikas?
Yeah. And, for me, I have a personal mantra, I have a personal philosophy I've lived by, and it actually comes from the special forces, Joey. So it comes from the SAS and the Navy SEALs, those kind of guys. It's three different things to do, right? You adapt, you improvise, and you overcome, right? Adapt, improvise, overcome. So no matter what life brings to me, I live by that philosophy. I adapt, I improvise, and then I overcome the problem. So suddenly, Singapore, we are based here. Singapore announced the circuit breaker. We don't call it a lockdown here. It is a circuit breaker, right? So I know it's good branding, right? So what do? If you resist that, you have more pain and suffering, right? You struggle more, you complain and blame more. So resistance is never a good strategy. So for success, you need to adapt to that, whatever's come your way, and then you improvise, find ways to go forward, and then you overcome the problem. And that's exactly what we have done. So, for me, my whole life, is dedicated from the age of 29, when I left my corporate career and my corporate life. My whole life has been dedicated to giving people the wisdom and the skills to be successful in their own life. So I don't care where you put me, I'm still going to find a way to do the same thing. And that's my adapt, improvise, overcome. So I joke with Sally that in my last life, I was in the special forces.
That's what I like about the two of you, and also other people who are, passionate about their work. But here's the thing: a lot of ordinary people think that, oh, you gotta go and do this as out of the comfort zone. But the thing is, we do it anyway, right?
Yeah.
Because Sally, we do it anyway. Even if you're locked down in a house, we'll find a way to get our message out. We don't even, to be honest, we don't even think it's a problem, right?
Yeah.
For some days, we'll find a way to do it. And the thing is, we actually enjoy the process. And during this, we call it an MCO here in Malaysia. During this process, I got a lot of time to actually do a lot of thinking. A lot of things about the business now. With more time, I can actually figure out, tighten certain places, expand certain areas. I got time to look at this, where previously I'm so bogged down with traveling and talking to people and meeting people. Now I actually have, I have something, someone up there answered the prayers. Now you have time to fix all this stuff. What's the lockdown like for you guys? Did you manage to improve things along this last couple of weeks?
It's been really interesting, Joey, because if I look back, like even 6 months ago, we used to have an office full of staff who were like sitting in an office in Singapore, where we were providing laptops, we were providing desks, we were providing software. Now we're home, right? I've got a PA who sits in Japan. I've got video guys who sit in Israel and India, right? I've never even met these people. I've got a designer in India. I've got an online expert now in South Africa. And I've got social media people in Romania and Turkey. Now, this is the new life, You do not need a team of people who you own.
Yes.
It's the gig economy. It's using other people's expertise, using other people's skills. And yes, you can't manage every aspect of it. But if you've got some business skills and you can project manage, then, I've got files of like 12 people sitting in different countries all over the world. And we're putting stuff online at a rate that's, crazy.
All right. That's absolutely good.
Because his meditation course has gone online. We've got this new program we're about to launch online. Everything is going online and people are loving it.
Yeah. And I truly believe that this is the new norm. And anyone who refuse to accept the new norm is going to suffer, because they suffer themselves, because they want things to be the same as before, and the world doesn't really care. It's just change.
Yeah.
Right. And I think part of wisdom is being able to accept that change has come. Right.
Yeah.
Because this new world, it's already happening right now. And then you see a bunch of people here saying, when is it? Keep asking this question. I think you guys have got the same fair amount of questions as well. When is it going to go back to normal? And I keep telling these guys, this is the new normal, right? What do you think? What do you say to these people?
Yeah, Joey, I say to people that this pandemic, right, it's not going away. I said this like 4 weeks ago, and today the media is saying the same thing. Mm-hmm. This pandemic, this virus which is here, is not going away. And it's here for a reason, and there's karma involved. And now, that's a whole different tangent to it. But once it's here, it's not going away. The pandemic is not going away. It's a part of the equation of our life. It's just going to go from being a pandemic to being an endemic, which means it's in the background, and you'll learn to live with it, right? So we'll have to change our behavior, our way of life, our way of thinking about life, and way of thinking about businesses, about families, about everything. And then we just have to keep moving forward and producing the results that we want to produce. But we are never going back to what life was 4 months ago. It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. Absolutely. Now, Sally, you teach children, right?
Yeah.
You help a lot of children, but you used to do that through, of course, physically when you meet the kids. Now you have to pivot, you have to change. Tell us, was it difficult, and how did you do it?
Yeah. So we have a program called Soul Kids, which is all about essential life skills. We call it the 21st century life skills, and it's things that they're not taught in school. Yeah. So it used to be in the classroom setting, and A year ago, we went more to coaching, rather, one-on-one coaching rather than big groups, because I think we anticipated where the market was going. So a lot of people want one-on-one coaching for the children, because children have all got specific issues that they want to support with. So that's done on Zoom, which is fine. But then the other thing we're doing now is we've released a lot of books, which are already in the market, but now we're going to put those stories online as well. Okay. And started working with children. So the children are also recording videos and sending videos into to how they've learned from the stories. So we're putting together this whole series of online where we read the story, then children pop up and they say what they've learned from the story and how they've applied it to their life. And then some of our coaches pop up and some of the parents pop up and they tell the audience what benefit they got from the story. So a lot of it's going to go online. A lot of it's on Zoom. And, parents love to sort of talk over the emails as well. So we're still very much interacting with all our clients.
Wow. See, there's always a way. And I like your spirit of being able to just adapt, This is what I think for a lot of people that found it difficult right now. Really, if you can just boil it down to the willingness to adapt and change and find a way, right? Yeah. And so how do you teach wisdom online, Vikas? Right now you're teaching from home, right? And you and I think all of us here, three of us here, we do a lot of events and seminars right now. Obviously, you guys know that I've already switched online to live events some years ago, and now I'm just doing it on a different scale. But how do you do it, Vikas? Because you're teaching meditation and mindfulness, right? You're doing something, and this will be quite different. I mean, in my view, it's quite different than how I would do. I talk for the whole day, but for yourself, how do you do it?
So, Joey, I also do live events. I used to do a lot of live events, right? But live events, even if you do massive ones like you do, you're amazing, right? I've seen some of your events. It's phenomenal. So even then, but there's a limit to it, right? 5,000, 7,000, 10,000 people. But online, there is no limit. I mean, there could be, instead of 10,000, you can have 25, 30,000 people logging on, and there's no time limit, because when you go and do an event in a hotel, you have to get in, get out, right? There's a lot of setup involved. Online, there's no time limit. They can watch it tomorrow. They can watch it, anytime they want at their own convenience. So we just have to make that transition, and that's what I'm doing. And, for the last years, I was traveling so much all over the world, teaching clients and students, that actually 4 months ago, 4 months, this is really amazing. I was telling Ali, I said, this year, I don't want to travel. Really, I want to cut down by 80%, right? Because I'm ignoring so many projects. I'm tired of traveling. Even if you travel the best airlines and, you're still tired, right? Yeah. I said, I want to cut it down by 80%. And I think the universe heard me.
I can understand your point of view. Last year, I did the same thing. I did 3 family trips in 1 year. People thought I was crazy. 3 huge, my travel in a family is like 16 to 20 of us if we get our assistants along. But this whole group, like 3 generations, parents, ourselves, the siblings with our wives, and then kids. And we did it 3 times last year so that we don't have to travel at all this year. So, I think, people ask me, you predict that you not going to travel? Actually, no. For some reason, I knew that it has to be done last year. So I think this is something like a divine guidance, or, I'm sure you resonate with this, right? Somehow something is guiding you. You got to do it right now, because next year you won't get a chance to do it. And so I did it, right? And I also set up my own apartment unit right now. There's the other unit was empty, and I got it. And last year, for 4 or 5 months ago, I actually set up the entire home office together with all the studios. So I was able to do my event. So while it is impossible to pinpoint COVID-19, but somehow there was a guide to say, do this now, so that next year you won't have the problem. I think perhaps you have a better way to explain this to general public, right? What would you call this?
Yeah, I mean, no one anticipated that it's going to be a virus that comes in, but the signals were clear, right? Because I believe in the law of karma, and I call it the law of balance, right? Counterbalance, action, reaction. So if you look at what we've been doing to the world for the last 5, 10, 50 years, actually it's been since World War II. There's been a trend. And the amount of exploitation that we have done with the physical world, the natural world, and the animals, right? It had to balance itself back. It's kind of like the concept of the yin and the yang, right? The concept of the movement of energy. So there has to be this pendulum swinging back. So I knew something is going to happen, whether it's a stock market crash, it's an economic crash, whether it's some sort of a very massive natural disaster, but no one anticipated it's going to be a virus. But you know what? I mean, from a certain perspective, the virus is a very efficient mechanism, isn't it?
Right. It is, right? It's sort of now the air is clean, traffic is gone, So, and we value family time, so a lot of things. I think this is what Tommy Cham is saying, divine wisdom somewhere, right? Something happened and everyone is just, realigning right now.
Yeah.
Right,
And I say to a lot of my clients, Joey, a lot of people, their mobile phone had taken over their life. And, Vikas and I at the airport and things, we watch and we're always learning. And the most things people do, they're now looking for where can they plug in their mobile phone, right? They're at their airport looking around, they're plugging in their mobile phone because they want to recharge their mobile phone. But now is a time we can recharge ourselves.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
we should take that as an opportunity to recharge ourselves and to really think about what is important in life. Because sometimes our priorities wrong. We're so busy rushing through life that we never give ourselves any time to really stop and think what is important, what is not important. Because all the things we thought were important, like the big house, the big car, the cars are sitting in the garage and nobody can drive them at the moment. The Birkin handbags that ladies want to show off to all their friends. No one can go out and show off the handbags or the shoes,
Nobody cares anymore. Nobody cares.
So all these external things that we used to think were so important, I think it's a time for people to really reflect on what is important in life and what is not so important. Exactly. And, wisdom is massively important. And that's why, we're still happy throughout this period.
And the thing what I like about you guys is that wisdom breeds, long-term happiness, because you got to be wise in order to really sustain happiness. But for the ordinary people, they actually don't think that they can learn to be happy. What would you tell these people?
Yeah, happiness is possible when you train your mind, right? I mean, otherwise it's not possible. And in fact, wisdom says that there are two types of happiness. One is what we call unreal happiness. And unreal happiness is based on external factors. So, I get the results I want. I get a compliment from someone today. I can buy what I want. I'm happy. But that's unreal, because that happiness passes away. 10 minutes later, you're distracted, your happiness is gone, right? So when happiness is based on an external reference point, it's unreal, it's unfaithful, it'll pass away.
It's not sustainable.
It's not sustainable. But the second type happiness is what is called real happiness, which is sustainable, and that is based on an inner reference point, which means that we have to learn how to train our mind to be happy. And that's what meditation and wisdom is used for. I coach people, CEOs, entrepreneurs, celebrities in Hollywood on how to train this part, right? Because Joey, the mind that makes our millions, right?
Yes.
I tell you are successful when I look at you and I see this person who has achieved massive success. But I tell you, it's all because of your mind. That's the root of it. And that mind comes out with the ideas and the coaching and then creates that massive team you have and makes it successful. So the mind is the foundation that you want to develop and strengthen with wisdom.
Absolutely. Right? Absolutely. I agree. Yeah, because when you go home, some people are not happy. It's only because the internal home, which is here, they live with this every single day. Every single day, whether you're asleep, you're awake, this is where you go, you are. And if that is a very nasty place to be in, they're not going to be happy. So, I like that you actually have a systematic way of helping people to have a good home here to go home to. Because right now, you look at people asking, that they just want to get out right now because they're stuck at home. Isn't that their wish when they're working to be able to have long weekends? And now they have 4 weeks and 8 weeks and they don't like their wish anymore. So what happened, right? Isn't it their minds have the problem? And I think, being able to learn how to cleanse that, gain the wisdom to actually be able to live in a happy place, that itself is much more than wealth. In fact, that is the wealth. because at the end of the day, there's only so much you can buy on the outside, but in the inside, that's unlimited, right? Ideas, right? Compassion, and being able to see this world. The world can be with COVID-19, and you can still be happy, whereas the world without COVID-19, you can still be unhappy, right?
Absolutely.
So this is great. Yeah.
I think gratitude also plays a massive role, and we teach this to children. We teach this to everybody. You know, if you can just stop and look around you.
Can children learn? That's a good question, because
Yeah.
can children learn this?
Yeah. Well, we play it with children. Tell me 5 things that you're grateful for in your life. You know, and they put their fingers up. You know, I'm grateful that I've got a mum and dad. I'm grateful that I've got a house to live in. I'm grateful that I've got, you know, water to drink. And, you know, we tell stories about children who haven't got as much as they have. So then children start to focus on things that they should be grateful about.
Excellent.
So even during lockdown, we have so much to be grateful for, because, you know, when you look at the TV and you see Italy and those people gasping for air in the ICU, why are we complaining? You know, this is the craziness. We shouldn't be complaining. We're happy, we're healthy, we've got an amazing place to live. We're in Singapore.
Joey, when I met her first, right, and we started Soul Center, you remember the story she was telling you? I told her, one of my first lessons to her was, Sally, your name is Sally, and you must learn to calibrate your life.
Aha, right. That's
Calibrate, you know, celebrate your life.
But I think, you know, having that helps a lot with marriages, as they say right now. It was in China, now the whole world is going through that. After this whole COVID-19, either there will be more babies or more divorce, because right. So people are.
You can send me the baby, the soul kids, and you can send me the divorce.
Right. But I think people just can't live. You can't live with them, and you can't live without them. I think that's a lot to do with wisdom, because unable to handle themselves and they put the blame on others. They feel unhappy because some small issues happen. That they need to train for happiness. I think is what your work you do makes a great impact. Vikas and Sally.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. You want to pick some questions from here, because there's a couple of questions that I see is quite important here. Right. Let's see. I'm going to bring this out here.
Wow.
That's hold on. I can bring it out. 1 second. All right. For those who have questions, please go ahead and put right here. I saw a few because it was so fast. Here.
Okay. What can we learn from this current situation through the eyes of wisdom? Kate Brewers. All right. So from the eyes of wisdom, this is not to be seen as an obstacle. It's to be seen as an opportunity. And one of those things is to realize it's an opportunity for me to look at myself and see what I'm missing. So what have I been doing wrong? How can I improve myself? What do I need to learn? What do I need to do to take my game to the next level, right? So that is something that this is forcing us to do. The COVID-19 is giving us the time, it's giving us the space, it's giving us that opportunity to really polish ourselves up. So that's something that you can take from this. But it's also teaching us what's really valuable, right?
Yeah.
What's really valuable in our life. So health is valuable. Everyone today is worried about their own health. Relationships are valuable, right? So give more attention to your close, intimate relationships, to your family, to your children, because work is one part of life. It's not all of life, right? We'll go back to work, but work should not dominate or rule our life. It's one part of life, not all of it. So it's giving us a way to reevaluate our own lives.
This is great. I think the thing is now, and everyone is given so much time and they just don't know what to do with it. It's the same. I tell people, if you just win the lottery and suddenly you have a lot of money, you will still have problems, because the person internally, wisdom-wise, the mentality-wise, have a problem. It's like now you wish for time, you have so much time, you have this problem, you don't know what to do. This is the same between money and time. You know, so I hope that the being able to set the priorities will be able to help these people. Here's another question.
From Farshid. Okay. May I ask what will be the future for startups and raising capital?
What?
Fantastic, right? This is something I coach people on. I coach startups and entrepreneurs. So what is going to be the future of startups? Listen, it's going to be a bright future, all right? as long as the startup can provide value to the world, to the people out there. So a startup will be only about one thing. It will be about giving a solution to a problem. If you do not have a solution to a problem, you're not a startup and you shouldn't be starting a business, right? So either you have to do better or you have to do something in a brighter way, right? Or you have to provide a solution which hasn't been provided before. So it's going to be a great future for startups, and there's going to be a lot of capital. That's the other good part of it, that there's going to be a lot of capital out there because every government is pumping money into the economy. So if you are thinking of doing a startup, start thinking of some technology, some solution, some benefit to a problem that people have. And I can tell you, you're going to soon be a multi-millionaire. In fact, get in touch with us and let us coach you.
All right. Very, very good. Here's another question.
How can we release a sense of overwhelm and powerless? Yeah, Sally, you go ahead.
Fantastic question, Yvonne. Thank you. What I do with my clients at the minute, what I'm working with, is we feel out of control, right? So we can't control the lockdown. We can't control the virus. We can't control the ICUs. We can't control the protective equipment. All of these things on the news, everybody feels out of control. So what I get my clients to do is you have to draw two circles, one on the outside and one on the inside. And the outside circle is everything that you can't control. But the inside circle is things that you can control. So maybe in your house, you've got a dripping tap, or you've got a ceiling that needs painting, or you're putting on too much weight, or, you want to draw a painting. The things within the small circle you can control. And if you start to focus on what you can control, then you start to feel ownership again. You start to feel much more in control, and you start to feel confident about life. But the danger is we're all thinking about everything we can't control, and then we end up doing nothing. We become. So you've really got to think, even do this with children. What can you control? Make your bed in the morning, put your toys away, all of the things like this. Give people things that they can control, get them doing that every single day, and soon you'll start to feel much more confident.
Excellent, excellent advice. And this is a question from Q Ho. If you have one piece of advice or word of wisdom for us during this time, what would it be?
Okay. One piece of advice, very simple. You are your best asset. You are your best asset. So make sure that you grow this asset, you upgrade this asset, you upskill this asset. This is the time for you to go and paint your house, metaphorically. It's the time for you to go and polish your silver, metaphorically, right? It's the time for you to invest in the best asset you have, which is yourself.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Right. This is the only time these guys have, and probably the only time after the MCO, the circuit breaker or the MCO is over, then everyone's busy again, and then they have a lot of, they will say there's not enough time to actually improve themselves. So I think it's a willingness to actually take the next step. Right. So here's another question. How to get more self-motivated? All right. I think you guys can answer this question really well.
You want to do it? Yeah. How to get more self-motivated if it's not enough in the situation where one is feeling not supported? How do you get better? Well, the solution is very simple. You have to find support. Look, how does a child learn how to walk? They try to do it themselves, but then they find support externally. The mother may hold them up, or they might support against the wall. So the two things that need to come together is your desire and your effort, and an external support system. So you need to get supported. And, just to let everybody know, we are happy to offer you the support for free, because we are doing a series of 25 videos. It's called Calm in the Storm. And all you have to do is write into us with your email, and we'll put you on that entire video series for our clients all around the world. So we are happy to provide that support for you to get you started so you can actually make the best of your life. Just drop us your email. You can write to info@soulcenter.org, soulcenter.org, or just Google Sally Vikas and you'll find us, right?
All right.
You have to be your number one fan yourself, so you have to see the good in yourself. You can't always look at somebody else and expect them to make you feel happy. So you've got to find your inner skills, make yourself happy, because you can only give to another person what's inside you. So spend some time thinking about all the amazing things that make up this person called you. Find those good things
I
on
think
your
at the end of the day, you know, the one person that need to support you is you. You know, so at the end of the day, if you don't support yourself, like you know, like making a decision, that's support enough. Because a lot of times people actually don't think that they are good enough to actually take the next step. And so if you just take one, if you don't know what to do, I think all three of us would agree, just take the next right step. Right?
Yep.
Just take the next right step, a small step towards, you know, improving your life, especially in these times where, you know, everyone is stuck at home, but you won't be stuck because your mind is, you know, I think Vikas can explain on this. Your mind is not bounded to anything. No one can tie a chain around your mind and tie it to your house. You can go anywhere you want to go, read anything you want to read, acquire any skills just with the mind. So, you know, there's no limitations to that. And I would totally recommend that you watch the videos from Vikas and Sally. What's the name of your series again?
It's called Calm in the Storm.
Calm in the Storm. Okay. And if they search your names right now, would they be able to find it?
Yes, if they search our name, they'll find our email address and just send us an email. Tell us, you know, I want to be on that on the video series. It's completely free. Send us your email. We'll put you on. No strings attached.
All right. Thank you so much, Vikas and Sally. Thank you for your time today. You guys are great, and your sharing, I'm sure it will make a big difference to people who are looking for directions right now. So one last question for the two of you. Okay. So most people are just contracting and you guys are expanding. Okay. Tell us, what is one advice you can give for people out there to expand and grow?
We've been given a period of time, and I think one of the most powerful lessons I can tell you is delay is the death of your dreams. So do not delay your dreams during this time, okay? You actually should be working on your dreams now, growing your dreams, expanding your dreams, using the technology, using the gig economy to keep growing your dreams, because delay is the death of your dreams. You'll have a dream. If you're doing it, somebody out there will be doing it. And then you'll 6 months and you'll think, wow, that was my idea and somebody else has done exactly what I wanted to do. So delay is the death of dreams. Start doing it today. Start using the gig economy. Start using whatever you can and take small steps towards your dreams.
Excellent.
And from me, it's a macro message in a micro way. Okay, because understand wherever you are, in whichever part of the world and whatever your life is right now, please understand that life is short. All right, 70, 80 years, no one knows how much we have, but whatever it is, life is short, make it sweet. You have to make your life sweet, make it successful, go after your dreams. You have just this one life, make it 110% life. No regrets. Life is short, make it sweet. Go after your dreams.
Thank you so much. And my team has already posted the email address on the comment section already. So go ahead and look for the contact is right here. This is how you get in touch with Soul Center, and they would, and your team from Soul Center would follow up from there. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. You guys were great. And thank you for your time. I hope you all the best. And I'll definitely catch up with you guys in Singapore when they reopen up the borders. Thank you so much.
Look forward to it, Joey. Thank you very much. And keep doing the amazing work you're doing. Keep shining.
Thank you. Thank you. You guys too. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, guys, for watching. And that was Vikas and Sally. And I hope this session has been valuable for all of you. And remember, it's important that you have a desire to improve. The message is clear. Have a desire to improve. And more importantly, happiness is an inside job, and wisdom can be acquired, and you need to take the first step. And if you guys have enjoyed watching this video and you would like to continue with all the live interviews, watch them, please go ahead and subscribe to the Facebook channel right now. You could see the link right now, and or the YouTube channel that you're watching this on. I will be having many very special guests appearing in every day until next week. And for example, some of you are fans of the Hong Kong superstar Sally Ye. She's coming out on Sunday. And I'll also be talking to some of my classmates, my school friends. You want to know how I was like as a kid? Well, my school friends are coming up also this weekend. So stay tuned, and remember, subscribe to my Facebook page and my YouTube channel. Okay, you see the button at the bottom of the screen. Click subscribe and hit the bell icon. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.